Okay. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this session. The purpose of the session is to provide information about our upcoming acceleration course, our spring batch, which actually will be kicking off in mid-April, just after Easter. In this setup, we cannot see you guys, the guys on the other side of the screen. So I'm going to, ask you to kindly go to the chat box and say hello and say from where you are joining so we can get a better idea of who's out there. And that will be really thankful. I will be really thankful for that. Can we do this right now, guys? Go to the chat box and say, hi, we are joining from this country or another country where this is startup.
Yeah, I think we get there slowly. Good morning or good afternoon, everyone, from wherever you are. We'd love to hear more about where are you from, what's the startup name, and put that in the chat or in the comments if you're watching this live on YouTube or otherwise. So looking forward to hear that one out. My name is Razvan. I'm going to be the MD of the SaaS program, or the side of the program in the spring batch, and together here with my colleague Sergio, is going to be the MD for the cyber side of the program. So pretty excited to get this going soon after Easter. And it's going to be a wild ride, but myself and Sergio are actually there to support you and to make sure that you're staying on the right track with objectives, KPIs, milestones, and generally use us as your boxing coach in your corner to get out there in the ring. So Sergio, I'll pass the mic back to you to introduce our guest today.
Yes. So first of all, hi, Leah Merova Health from Hungary. Thanks for letting us know. For those who just joined, please use the chat box to make questions. But first, introduce yourself via the chat box so we know who is on the other side of the screen. We cannot see it from here. So instead of introducing Alessio, who is very well spoken, I'm going to let him make an introduction. Then I will make an introduction about myself and a little introduction about the program. I hope this meets your expectations, guys. So Alessio, tell us.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Alessio Marinelli. I'm the CEO and founder of a company called Credi. I was part of the winter batch 2024, so I've only just graduated at the fantastic event at the San Mamés Stadium in Bilbao. My company was, in fact, I think the only company in the Web3 vertical to be funded in the last cohort, and I was very excited to be part of the program. Credi specializes in the tokenization of private credit assets, and thanks to Startup Wise guys, we're now on our trajectory. Thank you.
Nice. So hello to Monica also from Mockup Studios. My name is Sergio Guaracino. I'm also managing director, co-directing this spring batch with Razvan. The way we split this is Razvan is going to take care of the SaaS companies. I'm going to take care of cyber and defense. We expect to have a share of, let's say, 50-50 within the teams. And besides that, I'm also a venture partner for the Cyber Fund and GP for the Future Tech Fund, which will include cyber, financial services, and Web3. So for those who just joined again, please introduce yourself via the chat box, and you can start kicking out all the questions you may have. We'll try to answer those in general speeches, but then you can, if we don't actually reply to your question, you can actually re-ask it, okay? So a little introduction about the program. Program lasts 3 months. It's a hybrid program, meaning that we'll have two meetups. The first meetup is going to be in Tallinn in the same dates of latitude. The second one is still to be confirmed, but most likely it will happen in Azerbaijan for Baku ID in Baku, which is a big event in a region that has become very, very interesting lately because there's a lot of interest and a lot of investors with fat checkbooks ready to join your initiatives. The program, again, I mean, what can you expect? Let me start by the end value. We have 75% survival rate. This means that 18 months after completing the program, 75% of the companies are still invoicing, meaning that they are still on the run. And I don't remember a batch for the past 3 years where we have a evaluation lower than 9/10 in terms of intentions to recommend this accelerator program to other people. So it seems like throughout the 12 years we have been working on this, we have learned how to do it well. That's why people is happy and the results are coming. What can you expect? We'll start with a small diagnosis, meaning that we'll try to understand, for each of your companies, where are the biggest opportunities. And based on that, we'll meet with you and try to tackle these ones and set objectives for the program. This is going to help us because the way we run this growth program is that on one hand, we have several activities that we know they are relevant for all of you guys. On the other hand, given that you have different interests and you are playing in different verticals or markets, you will need some tailor-made support. So if I go deeper on the general staff, you are going to be going through different activities. Key ones are the 3 sprints we are going to run. The first one is the market engineering sprint. This is 1 week sprint, very intense, very useful. The outcome is that you will gain a much better, solid understanding of your ICP and where is your market, and you will get data to support this. In that sense, the information coming outside from this sprint, which is the first one that we'll be running, is you will get valuable information to draw your go-to-market or modify it. And you will also be capable of coming with a bulletproof deck that you can, present to VCs. VCs are arrogant, VCs are stiff, VCs make difficult questions. We will fully prepare you for that. So that's the market engineering sprint. The product sprint is a Google invention, also 1 week, very intensive. And here you will define a opportunity or an issue that you have, and you will have the chance to brainstorm about how to tackle this challenge in a different way. So you will make a design of a new process, you will make a mock-up of the new process, then you will show it to consumers, and then you can make changes. This, according to Google, can save you up to 6 months of work. I'm not sure that in your case, as you guys are faster than Google, that's exactly the takeaway you want to have, but I can guarantee you that it's very valuable and it will save a lot of time. The final sprint is sales sprint. And on this one, we will walk you through an exercise. You will need to define your ICP for the exercise, and we'll walk with you by the hand on how to, come up with a plan that you will start implementing with us. So these 3 sprints are run in different weeks. The other 2 intense weeks that you have to plan for are the meetings that we will have. So that means that at least, for these 5 weeks, you will have to dedicate about 50%, 60% of your time to get the value that these activities offer. For the rest of the program that actually runs until the end of July, there will be some activities on the week. One of these is you will probably would like to have weekly meetings or bi-weekly meetings with your MDs, meaning Razvan or I. Um, and also we will be running some activities according to the results of the diagnosis. Some of those are going to come for sure. For instance, preparation for pitching. We're going to take you guys and put you up in stage, and we want you to, crack it, to make it really worth it for you. So there's going to be a preparation for that. There are also some webinars or workshops around legal, and some around also sales and marketing. I think that's a pretty long explanation. I don't know if I managed to pass everything through. So maybe Razvan, you want to complement, or you guys sitting on the other side of the screen are ready to shoot us with questions about the program.
Yeah, Sergio, thanks for passing the mic for a bit. I think you explained very well the overall structure of the program. So definitely there's great value in the sprint exercises that we are bringing, right? So these are proprietary exercises that we've developed. I mean, here I'm referring definitely to the market engineering sprint and the sales sprint itself, kind of the methodology, and then we developed our own version of the product sprint that you are mentioning. I've been part of Startup Wise guys. Was working full time for the past 5 years, right? So I've seen these exercises actually benefiting the founders tremendously. So I can highly encourage you when you will be having such an exercise. If you're entering the program, bring the full army there and your whole attention to it, because they are important. And of course, on top of that, it's cool to have the other workshops and the sessions that are tailored. But as well, another pro tip that I can share from my past experiences as MD is when we are going to the on-sites, which are pretty good on-sites, guys, that Sergio mentioned, we have to maximize the time down there. So the moment you set foot in the city, hey, there is the official agenda, of course, that we are bringing in as a program, but then you as a founder, develop your also side agenda that goes hand in hand, just maximizing the time, setting up those extra meetings. And that's how you maximize an on-site. And here maybe I can pass it to Alessio, because he's the founder in question that has benefited the most recently of what we've been saying, Sergio. So then we can check the comments as well. So Alessio, over to you.
Hi, thanks, Razvan. I see a comment here, question about what surprised me most positively about being part of this. There's various things that I've never been part of an accelerator program, but particularly on this one, what surprised me was not only the knowledge and expertise of the MDs and the mentor, and the structure of the program. So as you say, Razvan, actually the market engineering one particularly was of great use for me in preparing for various conversations I had with VCs. But the best thing was the realization of how important it is for startup-wise guys to put you at the center of everything in terms of helping you to succeed. Every time I had a request on whether it was a fringe event to speak to investors or connecting with specific expertise, they immediately jump onto it and helped out with that. And it was great to see, because ultimately we are a part of we are to get on the journey together. So that was the best, really good. The other thing was actually being part of an ecosystem. Being a founder is often a very lonely place, and coming to the program and actually sitting in a room with 10 other founders and sharing those experiences and actually getting to know what other companies are doing and building an ecosystem. That was one of my main objectives. It was a fantastic experience. I am now actively collaborating with 2 of those startups to develop projects together. Oh, I think
Sergio, you're muted. You got to mute. All good.
I was trying to tap on that one and say that you even also managed to gather some investors for your venture throughout
Yes.
our team, right? So
I
that's
did.
pretty good.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Including myself, right? So
yes, I had the opportunity of obviously this year was our graduation event in Bilbao coincided with the investor summit from Startup Wise guys, and it was an amazing opportunity not only to be able to present to those 150 investors on our graduation day, but Startup Wise guys also gave me the opportunity to sponsor one of the investors event the night before, and it was a great networking opportunity. How often do you have an opportunity to just drink and eat with 150 investors? It was fantastic. So a lot of interest was raised from both of those events.
yeah, that was a very hectic night. I remember very well. Okay, so for those that just joined, I'm going to repeat the instructions here. The way that you guys can shoot us with questions is you need to use the chat box. We're looking at that. So if you have further questions, please let us know. In the meanwhile, I think it's relevant. Razvan, maybe you can explain us what's the criteria we're using to select the companies so they know what kind of, box ticking they need to do to see if there's going to be a good fit with us.
Yeah, I think thanks for bringing that one up, Sergio. Look, I think it's always a give and take. So you can go with box ticking until a certain point, right? But at the end of the day is about the team and the founders. We are ultimately betting on people who believe have the capability to learn, develop as professionals in that particular function, right? So there's a criteria, a team which is complementing each other with the skills they are having, a team which is united, bounded already by the founders' agreement that they should have in place, ideally. Even more so, speaking of that, it's important for us that the team has worked together before. So if you manage to prove to us that you've had tough times in the past and you can withstand those, that's critical for us as investors to know that you can take the pressure and that you will not throw the project immediately if times get tough. So team is one of the most important criteria. Emphasize that as much as possible in the application to us. Even more so, we are going now towards the product, right? So think of where the product it is right now. That's important to have it as an MVP, to have some initial customer validation and traction. But traction is not the most important necessarily. So most important is, as I said, the team, the product and the vision where you would like to take this. During the program, it has happened many times that some of the teams pivoted or they just slightly changed the direction based on market engineering sprint or product sprint that Sergio was mentioning before. And then I think the third important factor here is, of course, is the traction, right? How much that weighs in the context of your own startup will differ, but show us that there is desire for your product in the market, whether that is paid already, whether it's monthly recurring revenue, quarterly recurring, annual, or is paid by as you go. Different models that are generating cash for you are important, but at the same time, traction can mean LOIs. Traction can mean having 100 clients waiting for the final product to be released. So frame that in your application to the best of your thinking.
A doubt that I oftenly get is if we are, very strict about the B2B thing. So I would like to elaborate on that one. One of the reasons we have this survival rate is because B2B businesses are easier to start up. What do I mean? If you go for B2C, typically you would like to be investing on Google Ads, and we consider that very low effective for most of the times. So that means that you have high investment to get a customer. That means that the tickets are lower, and that means also that you get a lot of churn. B2B is exactly the other way around. You don't need to invest. You can do direct outreach. Tickets are higher, and there's more stability in your client base because these are educated decisions, not just a thing of the moment. Now, there are some B2B businesses where this also applies. A good example is education, for instance. If you are trying to have edtech and you are selling programs to customers, but programs that run, maybe for 3 months, 1 year, or whatever, with a significant ticket, that's also behaving like B2B to us, and we are happy to look into that. I hope this small explanation clarifies that out also. Okay, so I'm looking at the comments. I don't see many questions. So, guys, this is the moment. The purpose of being here for us was to get to have a sort of conversation with you guys. So I'll say let's wait for another minute to see if we get more questions. Otherwise, we can wrap it up, right?
Meanwhile, maybe we can take a question here that we have in our private chat. I think it's what can startups expect from the on-sites, right? So how's an on-site Wise Guys branded looking like? And I think here I'll pass it back to Alessio to give us the direct founder experience of how the program was the moment you landed, I know, in Bilbao, or where that on-site was for you. You're muted, Alessio.
No, you're muted, Alessio.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, look, first of all, when you're on the program, the nice thing about the program is that, whilst it requires some time, an investment in time, it's quite nice to have a structure and a continuous dialogue with the mentor, the MDs, and the rest of the cohort. And it's great to do it online, but I can tell you we had 2 on-sites, and both were fantastic. The first on-site was in Lisbon, and that was the first time to not only meet our colleagues from Startup Wise Guys in person, but more importantly also to meet the other founders. And we really formed quite a lot of bonds there. So there was a lovely experience. And again, we had an opportunity in Lisbon not only to do sessions that were part of the program directly in person there, but you also had the opportunity to present, to have presentation competition, to present in front of a panel and so on, which is all useful for when you're pitching to investors and you start owning your skills there. And then, of course, we had the beautiful event in Bilbao for the full week. Again, great chance to see everyone again, and it was very well structured. We had a lot of additional sessions, specifically in Bilbao. We had one about presentations and how to present, owning our skills in presenting in front of a large audience. And then we had the opportunity to apply that at the San Mamés Stadium, the home of Athletic Bilbao, which just kicked out of the European Cup, my team. And it was a great experience. So I think very well structured, very well organized, and it is useful for so many different reasons. So it's not just the learning and the program, but also building those reports and having those other opportunities.
Yeah, go ahead, Sergio. You're muted. Yeah.
Thank you, Alessio. And I think your answer is tied to the question that I'm reading now in the chat box. Monica is asking, do you offer special networking to business clients or tactics for B2B marketing? So we do and we don't. That will be my answer. It's like, we are not going to give you a list. There's no commitment to find you 10 potential clients in a list that you will explore with us. We will teach you how to fish, and we'll take you to a nice place where there are a lot of fishes. We won't give you the fish, right? So for instance, I go back to the comment of Alessio. We do these gatherings in places where there's a lot of networking opportunities, and then we can make introductions with the right people with you. And then you are also expected to walk your way in these meetings. That's why we're going to Latitude and back YD, hopefully, right? Now, what else? Tactics, a lot. So if in your diagnosis, and most of the times everybody wants to increase sales because this is the purpose of the program, there are some sessions that are around this and will help you to understand how to use different channels, how to go and attack one specific ICP that will be on the sales sprint. And on top of that, if you have a different vertical or within a vertical, a sub-vertical, because this happens, and your business is very unique, let's say so, we have the opportunity to have ad hocs or lead mentors, right? So you said what you need. For instance, let me guess here, because Monica comes from Mockup Studio in Germany. So she might be willing to have a one-on-one with somebody who is in a business related, doing sales in Germany, right? And that's part of the work we do. We will scout for the right mentor for you, and we'll sit you down. And this most of the times also leads to several opportunities when it comes to sales. I don't know, Razvan, if you want to complement this or you feel confident.
I think it's the good old principle, right? We don't give you the fish, we teach you how to fish. Those are the tactics. But essentially, you guys need to walk the walk and walk the talk, as they say. So we are not giving you clients on a silver platter. But we will try to put you in a position, right, where you're competent and confident to reach out to those clients, and hopefully also give you the, let's say, the sea where to fish, or the pond in which you go, right? That's the Tallinn Latitude 59 week. There will be a lot of movement there, right? Plenty of new people coming to the city, startups, investors, potential clients, and that's the moment you need to go and maximize your time there. So I hope that that answers your question, Monica, and we can chat more about it. I think we do have a call today as part of your scouting and selection process. That means that you applied for our program. So thank you.
Okay, so guys, this is the moment. If you have further questions, we're here for you.
Sergio, maybe another question here that we have in the chat. So this goes to Alessio. So as alumni, what was the status of your company when you applied to the program? And how do you feel at the moment you left the program? So was it an immediate effect the program had on?
Yeah, so what was the status? So I was lucky enough to exit my previous startup and use the funds to invest in Credi, my current company. At the time of the investment from Startup Wise guys, well, first of all, the funds I received was extremely important at the time in terms of growth and aspiration, because it allowed me to complete my technology MVP and to invest some of the funds into market making activities. But after, when I left the program, I didn't just leave the program with funds. First of all, I gained or honed my pitch, my deck for investments. I've learned quite a bit in the product engineering, and I was able to test a new directions I want to give the business. But fundamentally, what I had at the end of it, my profile was raised. I had a lot more connections when it came to investors, and a fantastic network of collaborators when it came to the other startups in the program. So there was a marked change from when I started the program to when I finished it.
So in a way, it's not necessarily an immediate reward, right? But it's more long term. So the relationships you've built with the investors, with the peer founders in the program as well, those will pay off. Not necessarily within the program, but soon after and long term after.
Yeah, absolutely.
We have a couple of extra questions. So let me read the first one. I think you already elaborated on this, Razvan. Good hello. We are Placelist, a startup empowering informal and small businesses with digital tools for visibility and growth. With 930,000 use the platform, 30,000 leads generated, and plus 3.5 million search impressions, we are now entering the monetization stage. I'd love to hear your suggestions. Do we fit for any program or opportunity with Startup Wise Guys? Looking forward to your thoughts. So it's hard to make a judgment with such a small information. It seems like you guys have a proof of traction here that needs to be, consolidated by monetizing this. But every opportunity is different, and as Razvan commented before, we look at the business idea, but we also look at the teams, their ambition, how consolidated the teams are, and we also have a look to your product. So I encourage you to go to our website, pick the program that you think is the best for you, and make an application, and we'll contact you soon to dive deeper into this situation and see if we can help you. We only offer positions to companies that we can help, because it's not only about the money, it's also about achieving something here together, right? In case you are not ready for the accelerator, there's the Founders Club program, which also grants you an entry to the investment committee. So I will advise you, Iad or John, to have a look into that as well. Now,
fully agree on that one, Sergio. So I think it's important maybe also to say, Ed, John, anyone listening. So irrespective if your traction is this or that, or you're unsure, make that application, go through the pain of those challenging questions that are in the loop, right? And you will get an answer. If you will be starting the selection process, and that process will end with a no, still it's a process where you learn. So you will be speaking with a couple of experienced people who will challenge you again with questions, and there's learning in that too. So you don't leave this process empty-handed. You will always learn something.
Great. So we have another question here. How can we address the issue that defense investments are still perceived as toxic by many investors? Very interesting one, but I don't think the framing is the right one. I think if you find somebody that perceives that is toxic, move to the next investors. There's no way you can do something that everybody is going to like. So this is called strategy. In English, it's a synonym for choice. So you are, being loved or hate. That's going to happen most of the times. The good news is that the community of people investing in defense is huge now. It's a very, very warm market. And we have very powerful contacts in different geographies that we can help you to reach out. And we have very powerful mentors that have walked that road in the past. So in a nutshell, it's about talking to the right people, not trying to change the world at once, because that won't happen for you, Stratforce. You want to take the other one, Razvan?
Yeah, I think this comes from Azara, right? Like what excites us as MD mostly about the upcoming program. I think this is a good one because it actually maybe changes from one program to another, right? Sergio, you might remember your first program. So what were you looking forward to this? Because it was, many of the things were new, right? So I have a couple of programs under my belt as well, and I'd say maybe the pattern across all of them is the moment when you're getting to the on-site and everyone is seeing everyone in person and hugging and say, hey, I imagine you would be taller and things like this, these very human remarks and peer-to-peer interactions. I think this is what I'm looking for the most, and that's the moment then you start building the real relationship, is not necessarily the online part of things. And then the second thing, when this is something that differs maybe from one program to another, is are the challenges that are individual, right, to each teams. So then you go into how can I best support this team in the context of their challenges. So, and then our brain gets going. Oh, I have this connection here. Okay, maybe they need this mentor. Maybe they need this extra hours here. So trying to pull all the resources to tackle those challenges in a way that is not necessarily, hey, I'm giving you clients on a silver platter, but in a way that makes you want to walk there and do it yourself. So teaching you in that way. But Sergio, I pass it to you here as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that we gain for this. Probably the biggest reason behind is that I think we pretty much like what we do, right? In my specific case, I'm very goal-oriented person, and I like to achieve something. So, my motivation is to see a dramatical improvement in each of the startups I work with. That's, something that motivates me. The possibility to make a quick change and transform this into sales is very exciting to me. At the same time, and this is not that interesting for the startups, I guess, but I get to learn a lot from good startups. So that's very nice as well, and very gratifying. And the last part is fun, walking this path, which is a rocky path, which is a difficult path. If you are going to walk it, you are going to be much better if you smile on the way. So I try to create this environment with startups where we also have fun and enjoy our days within this top program. That will be my take.
Yeah, maybe here we can pass it to Alessio and ask him what he enjoyed the most in the interactions with the MD. You had Gilles, right? So
Yeah, I mean, it was it was a really, how can I put this, very open conversation. It never felt like I was talking to an MD. I mean, obviously Gilles has got a vast amount of experience, but it was always a two-ended conversation. It was always very constructive, and it was always aimed at looking at what can we do to help your company grow. I've taken quite a lot away from my relationship with Gilles throughout the program, and I remain in touch with him. Actually, we're looking at. He's always suggesting people I should talk to, and things I should explore. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. I remember quite a few moments having a lot of margaritas with both Sergio and Gilles. So yes, there is a fun aspect to it for sure.
Especially after the margaritas, right?
Exactly, yes.
Well, it's hard work, hard fun, right? It's the only way to keep it up.
For sure.
Okay, so I think probably we have covered the doubts that were arise here. If you guys have a last question, this is the moment. Otherwise, thank you very much. First of all, Alessio for coming, our team for organizing this, and all of you guys behind the screens for your attention and interest in Startup Wise Guys. Final words, Razvan? Alessio?
no, I'm from my side looking forward to see more applications and speak one to one with more of you guys who are listening to us, and then dive deeper into what you're having under the hood there. So you can check all the applications and your answers to all the questions, right, that you're sending. But at the end of the day, it's different when it's one-to-one interaction and understanding how you're thinking, how you're seeing different elements of your business and moving pieces that are there. So looking forward to that. That means, of course, having your applications. So much appreciated. Thank you, Sergio, for hosting. Alessio?
Yeah, all I've got to say is if you're in doubt, just go for it and give it a try. I think if nothing else, as the guys have said, you will learn something even through the process, even if you're not successful. But yeah, you'll enjoy the ride for sure.
Okay, so thank you very much, guys. Hope to see your applications coming soon, and we'll get the chance to talk on a one-on-one basis. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.